Hello, how are ya? My name is Mary Moses, and you are in the forest part of Forest Fairy. We are going to be doing an ancient art technique called scrying. Scrying comes from the origin of the word scripture. And the basis of it is that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So what is word? Word originates from sound. Sound turns into frequency. Frequency turns into a sacred geometrical shape. Sacred geometrical shapes that come from God are shapes of power. The shapes that do not come from God are shapes that come from pain. We know that behind every pleasure and every pain is a sacred geometrical shape. These shapes are also connected to sacred numerology. You get into numerology, you get into thought forms of God and begin meditating on those particular thought forms. And you will realize that if God is for you, who can be against you? Because your actions and your thoughts are aligning with a higher realm. And so we have learned on TikTok and through 15 years or more of scrying for you guys, a repetitive pattern that is happening to us individually and collectively. Many of us are being activated, known as the activation portal, and it's a gate that is awakening within your biofield, and you're beginning to see the truths and some communications from the invisible realm. What is the purpose of the Holy Spirit if all of your truths are in a book? The Holy Spirit is a spirit of truth, and it is a fractal mirror, a mirror that mirrors your higher self and God. And these mirrors do the will of God. And through the will of God, they become powerful. And these powerful truths lead us to concepts such as time travel, shifting timelines, quantum jumping, quantum leaping, telepathy, and oracle abilities. The oracle was written in the Bible 23 times. If any man speak, let them speak as an oracle. So this is the Forest Fairy room. This is where we have fun. And although I might talk really serious and have some very strong and serious information for you, I always try to maintain the heart of a child because I don't like people who think they know everything, I don't. And what comes out of my mouth, I hope, comes from my higher self or the Holy Spirit or the seven spirits of God or the higher beings that reflect God. But yet I know that I'm mortal man, and my immortality is a place that I'm trying to bounce my consciousness to. I've gone through a great deal of learning, and I've been called to do this, and I believe in this calling. So if you're here and you have a different opinion than I do, or even if you have more information than I do, then feel free. And feel free to let me know if I'm a little off point, and I'm fine with being wrong. What we don't like is the accusing spirit. So if you have a polarized mind that says, well, that's not written in this book, just realize that a lot of the information that we bring forward here is from the unseen world. You cannot find it in a book. You're not going to find it on the internet. You're not going to find it in an ancient hieroglyph. You're going to find it as a communication from your heart. And so I'll either resonate or vibe with you or not, and that's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to practice spirit speaking through you and allowing that spirit to activate others. So what we like to do here is we have a yellow brick road, and we have the land of Oz. And the Wizard of Oz was a story that was written by a master who understood your biofield. And this is what we explain here a lot. The entire Bible, the Quran, everything is about the sun, the moon, the earth, the age of Pisces and Aquarius, and it is about your biofield. Your biofield is the letter M that dominates the letter W. That's the master that walks on water. And we learn to activate our biofield and go through an awakening through the invisible teachings of the invisible ones. So, welcome. We are going to be reading for Anakalia. And Anakalia, I love her name because her name means the sun that works with spirit and dominates the moon, which means that the body, which your body is considered the moon, needs spirit to work with the eye, which is the sun, in order to perfect our energetic body and our mind so that our mind isn't imprisoned behind our eyes. We shift from the eyes of the flesh to the eyes of the spirit. And once that occurs, we begin to not think about silly thoughts like our own feelings, our own thoughts, or even this world. We begin to seek first the kingdom of God through symbology, through numerology, through tetrahedrons and colors. So it's really fun. So what we do to begin this reading is we're going to read a passage from The Wizard of Oz. Thank you, Anakalia, for using your heart to get a divine reading that's going to help you grow your tree. The soldier with the green whiskers was still on guard before the door, but he let them in at once. And they were again met by the beautiful green girl, who showed each of them to their old rooms at once. And so they might rest until the great Oz was ready to receive them. You may be going through a time of awakening and rest. So you may be in your time of comfort and joy. And what it's doing is it's reviving you and getting you prepared for information that will be a challenge for you, but will also be a strength for you. Say yay! Now, we're going to put characters on your yellow brick road. You ready? You can sing along if you want to. Someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you find me, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. See if I can twist it with one hand. This is the Wizard of Oz. Okay, so let me tell you, I get a vibe from things and it makes no sense. None. Zero. You're going to go somewhere that has ley lines that's going to activate your heart chakra. Beneath the pyramids is magnetic water. I met a woman who studied the pyramids. She says under the pyramids is magnetized water, electricity, magnetism, and certain frequencies and energies that's going to actually activate you. And to your green heart chakra, for you to have a red heart and a red shoe, it could possibly be that you have a little bit of Wicked Witch energy in the sense that there may be something after you, something that was after you, something that you are transforming from, and you have a message in a bottle. It's probably someone who is contacting you. And then you have the Glinda. This is your higher self saying, oh, hello. I'm going to teach you how to tell the Wicked Witch to be gone before someone drops a house on their head. And so there's teachings of Glinda, and it may be a communication that you are meant to become the Glinda that helps other Dorothys to successfully make their way to the top of their biofield, which is Emerald City. So let us begin. And let us learn about why you received these symbols and the red shoes and the red heart, the 10 man who needs the anointing in order to move out of a specific timeline. You ready? Mushi the butterfly loves you. I love you. Mwah. Mushi the butterfly represents strengthening your frequency by following frequency. A healthy human being resonates between 70 and 100 hertz. But it doesn't hurt to have a little help. So many gurus and Jedis and masters and ancient ones would often wear cloaks made of linen or wool because they emitted 5,000 hertz frequency. They would hold talismans and amulets that reflected symbologies of power, or frankincense, myrrh, gold, and rose essential oil because they held power. Hunting for power and strengthening your spirit is a lesson that I teach here quite often, and it's fun. So rose essential oil holds 320 hertz frequency. You have been activated. The only way really for me to have any kind of vibe that gives me a lot of strength in my reading is to have the heart of a child. Now, take a deep breath. I'm going to, we're going to expecto patronum your art. Think of a time when you were a child. Somebody was playing with your hair. They were fixing your hair. A little humming with your hair. You may have power in your hair. And they're tapping their feet while they're humming. And you love somebody touching your hair, just being there for you. Comfort and joy, comfort and joy. And the minute you continue thinking of that feeling of having someone's energy near you that you love, expecto patronum. Woo! Ah ha ha! It did it twice. There we go. If I hear a song, one little lyric or one verse maybe for you. Not the entire song. Sometimes it is the entire song though. Sometimes Spirit sings me the silliest songs, and I mean silly. And I'm not going to sing this one. I just wanted to tell you what immediately went into my head. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. You know you got a mystery to solve, and so you get a Scooby snack. Don't hold back. And if you do it, Scooby-Doo, you know you're gonna have a Scooby snack. That's a fact. What? Okay, whatever. Let's find another song. Thank you, Spirit, for the Scooby-Doo song. Can we find something a little different? Where there is love, there is a peace. And in the cages that bind the bitter heart, it is released. Hold it close to your chest. Let it move, then let it rest. For it is He to set your mind at ease. Where there is love, there is a peace. There we go. La 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 la, la 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 la. Okay. You immediately have a Bible looking symbol that's very strange looking. Like that. Oh. You may end up having a church one day. I don't know why you have a church above your head. Okay, to have stars for your eyes is that you have something in your blood that other people may not have. When you watch Star Wars, for instance, Luke Skywalker, but not Luke Skywalker, Anakin, when he was little, had abilities. And when the Jedis came and saw that he had abilities, they checked his blood. And he had a certain amount of energy in his blood where the Force worked with him. So the Force was in his favor. And if you watch Doctor Strange Part 2, there's a young girl called America. And her eyes turned white and her eyes turned into a star. And when you're looking at America with that ka here, I think that you have an energy that opens portals, and there's things in your blood that you have the ability to activate that may not other people may not be able to. So you have this older woman here. Why she reminds me of like a Buddha. She's imagining certain images above her head and around her head in a particular way. She is here and on her knees like this, a certain body position. There's another woman here also. And not sure what this actually means yet. There are two people in a bed. One person has a crown on their head like Glenda, but they're literally in a bed. There's a fellow who looks like a wizard who is in bed with you are a descendant of higher beings. This is what this means. So if Inky came down and mated with a human, his daughter is named TT. You have TT. So you're a daughter of what you would consider an alien, at least in your bloodline. So if you've ever read Daughters of Copper Woman, they have green eyes. It's all about your eyes. And they had abilities. So the aliens would come down to the daughters of the aliens, which is connected to Inky, and they would teach them how to leave their old bones behind. They called your body your bones. When they learned to skywalk, or astral travel, or travel with spirit, or go up with spirit like Enoch went with God, they had more fun on the spirit realm, and they could literally sit in a spot with their eyes closed and bounce their consciousness to another place or a body and leave their bones behind automatically. Since that energy is still in your blood, it's something that you have to activate. So you have lots of different people here. There is elongated skull energy. There is dragon energy. Somebody kissing the dragon. I believe that they're more like bird people, the dragons. And then you have whatever is above their head. These are symbols that they had to actually visualize before they were able to bounce out of their body up here to go to the heavens and to speak with the higher beings. Now, they just sat there with their eyes closed and they automatically were able to leave their body. You're holding your body in the same position as this grandmother or mother or some ancient one. Same body language. She's the one who is telling you that you in your past, in your distant past, they mated with a wizard, which is like an alien, which is maybe the Anunnaki, maybe the Nephilim, maybe somebody that had strong ability. So you have a couple more of these star-looking things above this head right here. So this is another person coming forward. And please show me what you're seeing above your head, because I know this is very important. So you have the name L here. And okay, and what did you visualize? A particular poinsettia flower with particular figs, a rose, a particular flower rose with like a poinsettia rose and a flower. Okay, so I don't know how it works. So there's a rose that goes like this, and then the cross goes out like spruce figs, like this, and then like this, and then like this, and there's a rose in the center. So I don't know if that's what but there was two of them. There's one over here too. And then you have the figs. Or the spruce, the pine spruce thing. So anyway, you have a symbol down here. And so you have a symbol that I'm quite familiar with, at least lately. And it's an old book they were on. This was ancient knowledge, old truth that has been closed to humanity. So this is a book that they're sitting on, something that you can't read about, they say. The book has been closed. These truths have been closed. You can, not everybody can access. So down here in the book are two lions. Lions with eyes made of white-faced lions. Like this. White lions. But one eye is black, one eye is white. They're like polar opposites. They're dual. I don't understand it quite, but this is a book that is a bed, and what happened was where you came from, the copulation of a god of sorts, if you want to call him a god, created you guys. And I think that what happened was there was a religion that came that took away a lot of your power, a lot. I think it was dominated by a pope, the Romans. And what they did was they gave you a new name. They gave you a story about Christ that wasn't true. Even Jesus himself in Matthew 23 says the interpreters of the law of God are liars and vipers. So in order to access the truth about these religions, you have to hear the Holy Spirit. So the Spirit of truth is left for our heart chakra to access the unwritten word. The written word has been meddled with. Although I will say that cross looks like a poinsettia. And it's very interesting. So so there's this God here who is a bearded dude with an elongated skull like Santa's hat. Santa's hat is elongated. And then his arm goes into this book, meaning he is the original truth and is connected to this symbol. Now, you're holding this symbol up, and then your ancient family, their head is cut off. This is not literal. The story of John the Baptist and his head being cut off, the story of Mimir and his head being cut off, is the reason I saw you looking in the mirror. Mimir comes from Norse mythology. And to have your head cut off means you have the ability to take your consciousness, that is your mind, leave your body behind. You're leaving your body. You, through seeing and visualizing certain particular thought forms and raising your frequency and a myriad of other things that have been stolen from many people's ancient religions, or at least codes of knowledge, have the ability to fly and time travel and do many things. And it's called leaving your bones behind. So what I'm saying is that you are Draco Malfoy, and you're not a mudblood. A mudblood is somebody who mated with a Gentile, somebody who is who has barbaric blood of people who are unconscionable, blood of people who are unaware of how they treat themselves, children, the earth, and have no awareness of anything except for behind their eyes. They often do things very selfishly, chaotically, stupidly, spontaneously, and they hurt a lot of people. And those are the people that, you don't want to mate with. But you have a blood that would ensure that there's a possibility that you still can take your mind and bounce it to a higher place like your relatives if you practiced seeking first the kingdom of God, which isn't about worship. It's about deciding to learn and ripen the fruit within your tree of life, which looks like you have a fruit here. And it looks like you are in a place of your life where you are hunting for power and intellect to ripen the fruit on your tree so that you can have the power to do what your ancients did, and the ability to time travel, quantum jump, meet masters, use your holographic body, which is your higher self, to talk to anybody you want. But you have to know how to use your thoughts. The purpose of this lower world that we live in right now is to get you addicted, get you distracted, get you into consumerism, make you work most of your day, make you not focused on thought forms of God, make you ignorant, make you ashamed, make you have low self-worth and self-importance, make you so poor that you're trying everything you can to become rich, and polarizing you, basically. However, for those of us who have a little bit of something in our blood that gives us an awareness that this world is a trap, we awaken to thought forms of God that takes us to different places and literally untraps us from our very body, which is part of the trap. So this motherly, whether it's your great-grandmother, your grandmother, is cutting the head off, saying, oh, your higher self is much larger and can go anywhere, right? And we have been stuck here because we forgot how to visualize specific symbols in the old book that was closed and locked, perhaps by gods that are associated with the lion. Not sure. So the symbol that you have down there comes from the 13 Moon Almanac. And I will say I don't know much about this. It's that symbol right there. Let's see what we can read about it, if we can understand it a little bit. So it is your mental electron neutron. This is about your mind, your thoughts. So, of course it is. Of course. I'll tell you the sound associated with that particular. So this is called Huraim. 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 And when you say you let it vibrate between your teeth. It actually activates your biofield. So you're like, Huraim. Now, if you do a certain frequency and you sing it, you could actually make a harmony of it by going up a half of an octave to really kind of push that sound. But you have to visualize this. And you visualize this over your heart chakra. So notice the breasts over the heart are circular, probably a communication about these shapes. So the word is, my role is to accomplish the actions of the Buddha. I discharge the mental electron at the center of the earth. And so you envision this over your heart chakra. You say out loud, kind of like that. And you're supposed to do it in a cube. And then that Hraim is right there in the center. Can you see it's right there in the center? Yeah. Well, anyway, once upon a time, your ancients mated with a god, which some people call an alien. Well, anyway, that gave you the blood. I would watch Doctor Strange Part 2. She had the ability to open portals, but more importantly, she used her dream body, which is a skywalking body, to travel, to see behind the eyes of many and meet people from the higher realms. As I have accentuated my spiritual muscle, I have the ability to see behind other people's eyes also. And you will do many things on the spirit realm. But your great-great-grandmother could just sit in a seated position and bounce her consciousness through specific shapes that she's showing you right here to automatically leave her bag of bones behind. And they skywalked and sky traveled all the time like Edgar Casey. So you have, so let's see what kind of shapes she has. So she has a specific flower on one, which makes the number 33. She has the symbol of a cube in one, the face of a god, the face of a particular god that they remembered. So he has big ears. He is white face. Oh no, I know. Yeah. So it's a. Let me see if I can find it in here. If it's in here, hold on. It's it's a cube, so it's a square, so it's one of these. I don't know much about these. To see how strange these symbols are? It's in a square. So see how that one looks like the face inside a square? That's what that is. And it's a particular square that you visualize, and it unlocks a telepathic communication that opens a particular gate, and this gate allows your soul to travel to that particular gate, and it's lost knowledge that has been cut from us. But we're trying to reopen that, so you're going to help, okay? Maybe this is how you're going to start your own place. Maybe you're going to come and be with us, me and Stephanie. We're going to open a place too. And so this art of studying thought forms of God is what we're going to get into. And in the meantime, we're going to look at your hand position and see what it actually means. The heart on your shoulder means that you are losing power in that area. Why? Possibly your energy was tethered to someone and it either tangled you or cut you, or you lost a little bit of power. And what happens when you're losing power at a certain gate on your body? You don't have the power to remember or to astral travel or to meet or remember your dreams. And so hunting for power is part of a shamanic technique of thought forms of God, recapitulating your past, disconnecting from jerks, cleaning your house, cleaning your car, cleaning your diet, cleaning what you drink, cleaning what you eat, and then beginning to feed the birds, water your plants, and this cleansing process, scrub, scrub here, scrub there, while you're in Emerald City, activates your biofields. And then you'll get into the mastery of cleaning your mind through finding specific symbols that activate portals, gateways. So that symbol, I don't know. We will look. Oh, look at there. You have that cross. Hold on, I just saw it. You have that specific cross. Oh, and you have the roses. It's called the Virgin's Milk. You don't say. Oh, this is a mystical substance, supposedly come from the Virgin's breasts. Oh, you mean like that? You don't say. How can milk come from one not carrying a child? That is precisely the advanced teaching of the Lac Virginis. When studied as an alchemical concept, it points to a lack of awareness or experience that the alchemist would rather not reveal. Yes, this milky substance is a symbol of purity and innocence, but its shadowed side is naivety and even denial. When the Virgin's milk appears, discernment and honesty must be applied to the work, and something being glossed over, rushed, or presented as perfect. There are likely complexities that need to be addressed so the alchemist can gain the maturity to handle what's next. I think that you're in your place of gathering power and energy and recouping your energy so that you can take on what's going to happen next in your life to perfect your energy and your biofield. So that's not the cross that you had. I saw another one. I'm looking for hand gestures in alchemy. Your particular hand gesture is going to be very important. Okay, hand gestures. Go back to the beginning. Okay. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, you have 3 fingers up, so let's focus on those 3 fingers that are up. See the 3 planets and the 3 fingers? And notice how your 3 fingers looks like the letter B if it was in a... I believe this reflects the 3 planets of Sirius B. You come from Sirius B. 3 fingers. Okay. Kind of like the 3 fingers over here and then the 2 fingers removed. It could be Jupiter is emerging from darkness, shimmering with possibilities. I do see that shimmering energy. It is the planet of growth, expansion, success, and elevation. When this card appears, the future is full of bright and even dazzling. Look, dazzling light, bright. So it's Jupiter. And so it's about a magnetic feeling at play. The work is to keep Jupiter's bigness in balance during the wave of expansion that's taking place. Its shadow is most easily seen in celebrity culture, excess consumption, and messaging of never enough. So don't be excessive. You may begin comparing yourself with others or assessing your value. Don't double judge yourself for this. Jupiter happens. Instead, realign with the benevolent message in your heart. What truly needs expanding? It's likely not your followers or your bank account. So your future seems dazzling. However, I think there's the dark side is don't get self-important. Use humility. Always admit that you don't know everything like I do. and allow Spirit to show you some ancient truths that are going to help to really be a hunter of sacred symbology that literally opened gates, because the entire world is made of mind. And this mind is made with telepathy, telepathic visions of ancient symbols, which basically accessed a galactic mind, a universal mind. This is what you're going to end up doing. This is what your ancient ones have told you. And these things have been kept for a long time now. See the number 13, 1, 3. You are at 11 o'clock, which means you're going through a pole shift. The sun flips its magnetic polarity every 11 years. The 11th house is the age of Aquarius. And for you to have like Christmas energy is Saturn and the golden age and the golden earth and the golden age of Aquarius and the golden rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated. So, the future is looking bright for you. I'm going to look a little bit deeper to see if you have any other symbols or anything that speaks of your future and what to look at daily so that you can attain to your higher self. Remember that your higher self is an animal that dominates the flesh. We are very ignorant. Allow your higher self to lead you divinely. Do not be led by ego, self-importance, or low self-worth. Allow yourself to be in a divine flow. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay, so you have this symbol. These are symbols that are in that book. Yes, now symbologies are coming forward quite plainly. That's good. I do see you. You have wings. You have a unicorn. Who says that horses aren't unicorns? Maybe the unicorn is invisible, as we all are. Higher self is visible and invisible. The invisible world exists. All right. So you have a cube in front of you, a particular cube. The top of the cube looks like a volcano, but it makes a little square right there. I don't know why. There's a woman or a person here, and their arms make up the body of the cube. Like this. Oh, I know who you are. Okay, you're a master architect. Oh, okay. There are people inside this cube. They are in a reality. They don't know that they are in a reality. Okay, so you're a master architect. You're connected to Toth. So Toth's name wasn't Toth. It was more like Jedi. And to be the master architect means that you work with other beings who create realities on the spirit realm. I've met about 5 of you or more in my readings. You guys always hold hands at the corners of a particular shape or platform in the sky. And you're creating, it's almost as if, hear me out, it's almost as if you're, let's say that you created an artificial reality through a computer program, right? Except that the computers that we have here in this reality are silly mirrors of the true strength of people like you who are master architects. So you basically use your laser point vision through thought forms to create realities, and you work with beings that look like this, and you come from the north. I know that you have like Hawaiian energy, but no, you come from the north. There's a queen, there's somebody seated here. She's half man, half woman. She has a pointy chin. There are people in front of her with their hands hoping for something. They want something. They look like a nun. They have a gear on like they're soldiers. They are in a position on their knees. There's a rose on your ear. I'm going to say something that I'm not quite sure I'm right about. Sirius B comes from the Dogon tribe, talks about Emma Yaw being the goddess of Sirius C. Now, they say that a half man, half fish god came, and this is a fish dragon, weird, strange looking mermaid tail, that came and impregnated the human race. Now, his name was Dagon, the fish god. Now, the Dogon tribe from Africa knew about Dagon, the fish god, coming down and impregnating humans. And so Mithra, Dagon, the fish god, all these energies of Osiris, they are all connected. And it seems as if you are here to mirror an ancient energy. You have allegiance to this ancient energy. I would have to say that he looks like Yam. And there's a Christ on the cross here. With his head tilted to the side, which is a particular tilt on the cross. Yeah, it's Yam. I want to know whether your devotion to this individual, in front of a set of stairs here, is in your benefit. Well, you know what? Let's talk about it, because let's talk about who Yam is. All right. So, all right. We're going to go to the Wizard of Oz with this one. We're going to go to Osiris with this one. We're going to talk about the I Am God from the Bible. And let us consider these things and not be polarized as if what I'm telling you is true. I just want you to connect the dots as I have. And I could be wrong. But this is something that I have been shown in my art time and again. And I don't know if I've come to a conclusion. This is my temporary conclusion. It's for all of us to ponder. So whenever you're looking at IA, it makes Yah. All right. So the I Am God is Yam. Okay. So Yam is the god of floods. So when you're thinking of floods, think of water. You can see this looks like a puddle of water here. He is the god of floods. The Bible begins with a flood. He's the god of war. 1 Kings, 2 Kings, it was the god who killed women, children, and animals by the millions. And the I Am God was a god of child sacrifice. So God sacrificed his own son, and many other. Abraham asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. He sacrificed his own son. He's the god of child sacrifice. So when you're talking about the god Yam, it takes you to Osiris and Jesus. So as an allegory, here's Dorothy walking the yellow brick road like a musical note in the land of Oz. She walks from a spiral or a spell until she goes to what looks like the eye of the needle, or a rainbow that we're going to call Iris. Iris is the goddess of the rainbow. It also looks like an eye. This is an eye. So this is Osiris. Now, the body of Christ is just like Osiris. Yah means moon. Shua means the ray of the sun, like a rainbow. All right. It goes from darkness to light. All right. So Osiris lost his phallus. And the phallus is a place. You can call it a temple if you want to. Osiris lost his phallus, and who ate the phallus of Osiris? Dagon, the fish god. Yam and Dagon are connected. Who is the son of Dagon? Bao. Also associated with child sacrifice. And when I asked about why this is so grim, I was shown the story Stranger Things with Papa. And Papa put the character 11 through a large amount of pain, suffering, and isolation in order to make her open portals, close portals, and have the ability to become immortal. So this is a repeated story throughout history. Achilles had a mother who put him in boiling water. And there's also a story of him going into fire, or a story of him being put into the river Styx. And what this allegory is that there's only a small piece of our consciousness that is in this physical body being tortured, basically, but a much larger self that is immortal. So Achilles' heel means a little piece of his heel is mortal, but a much larger self became immortal through pain. So that the Yam god is a god that puts us through pain, but the purpose of the pain is to make us immortal. So the story goes like this. The body of Osiris was cut 14 times, 7 for him, 7 for her. It was cut into 2 places. It reflects 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, 7 colors to the rainbow, 7 chakras, 7 wounds of Christ, 7 spirits of God that are in the Bible, 7 musical notes, 7 trumpets, 7 seals, 7 metals, 7 generational curses of Cain, 7 heavens. So the body of Osiris is a place. So you know that Jesus is a place also, because he said, turn over a stone and there I am. Cut a piece of wood and there I am. Follow me from the fish, the water, Pisces, to the water bearer, Aquarius. Okay, so he's a place, not a person, although he could talk to you and manifest as a person, of course. So anyway, so what is the purpose of this child sacrificing God? Supposedly, it is a place where we didn't have a mother or a father. I'm just going to say it. Somehow, somewhere, something was cut from us. And so Jesus didn't have a father. Harry Potter didn't have a mother or a father. Dorothy Gale didn't have a mother or a father. Bastian from the Neverending Story didn't have a mother. 11 from Stranger Things didn't have a mother or a father. These fatherless, motherless children were put down here to the god of child sacrifice. Why? Why were we innocent children without a true mother and a father? And why were we given this reality? There's something about it that I'm not quite sure about. Anyway, the purpose of this reality is to come out, follow the white rabbit, follow frequency and sound from the illusion, which is the story of Odin holding the well and the water, and cutting off our mind from this physical reality and the ability to access through the iris, the eye of your higher self, your twice born self exists. You have a physical body and an invisible body. Your twice born self is an invisible self that exists, usually comes across as an animal, holy dove, dragon, lion, something. So here we are, and you are standing in front of Yam. And so you're bowing in front of Yam, the fish god. And you're a master architect. And you have ancient energy within you that needs to be accessed. So what's going to happen since you are still in front of the god Yam? He's the god of the sea, which means chaos, right? And let's say that you want to get out of the body of Yam and child sacrifice and the god of the sea. And you want to get to the golden age of Aquarius and you want to become the master architect. Yam is going to put you through pain. Yam is going to put you through trials. And I don't mean that you're literally going to have pain. I just mean that you're going to be there until or if you mirror your higher self. So if you're on the cross taking on everyone's energy, so you're in a program, the government tells you blah, your religion tells you blah, your friends tell you blah, and they are sleeping until we get off the cross and stop taking on everyone's thought forms and distractions and start seeking first thought forms of God. Then we'll be stuck here. So it's going to be a time of the 7 wounds of Christ are 7 points of drainage until or if the 7 spirits of God come and take your 7 points of drainage into 7 points of power. You have 1 drainage area on your shoulder. Your purpose is to become the master architect. You're literally going to open portals and create realities for people to learn and grow through, like a body of a god, a body of time. The master architect is connected to Thoth. Thoth was the master architect. The master architects are the carriers of the flame and the walkers. There's the skywalkers. They are called masters of the net. So you are in a boat that is connected to like Dagon, the fish god, and you are learning to relinquish, sacrifice your physical self, the self-sacrifice. The god Yam will require it. You're going to say, I don't want to relinquish who I think I am. And the god Yam will say, you must. Who you think you are isn't you. You're more than that. So don't take on the thoughts and the feelings of this world. Begin to become what you're meant to be, and that is a master. So that's Yam. And you notice how his hat looks like this? It's almost like he is the great and mighty wizard who puts you in the land of Oz, using artificial intelligence to make you go to Emerald City. And once you destroy the Wicked Witch, then he goes, oh, my work's done. You destroyed your false self. And then he goes into a hot air balloon, which is connected to the god Helios, who is full of hot air. And then suddenly you realize, oh my gosh, the kingdom of heaven is within me. God is within me. And if I shine back the God within me through thought forms of God and actions of God, then I can have power through that obedience, not needing the yam God so much. So anyway, your biofield looks like an apple. The sun has a biofield. It's called a torus field. So an apple with a bite out of it means there is technology currently that feeds off of your biofield. Don't know how or why, but it does. So your cell phone feeds off of your biofield, especially if you're down here. So the bottom part of your biofield makes the letter W. And many people who are in the World Wide Web, the Wicked Witch of the West, are trying to find Emerald City. This is the letter M on the top, and this is anti-M. So in order to get to Emerald City, you have to be aware that there are secret societies and beings who are connected to the invisible ones and the telepathic thought forms of secrets that help to instigate a flipping. So what you don't know is that the sun flips its magnetic polarity every 11 years, and you're supposed to flip with it. Through not being distracted by this physical world, through being focused on your double, seeking first the kingdom of God concepts. But there are 4 princes of evil who will try to stop you. They will. They know about MW. They know about 1111. Oh, yes. So what they will do is they will distract you, especially during the time that the sun is flipping. So let's talk about that. 9/11 equals 11. The 2 towers in New York looks like the number 11. It sat in front of a body of water that looks like 11. 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. So synchronistic. Now, this is the letter W. This is the letter M. Okay. So in 2001, the sun flipped its magnetic polarity. We were all distracted. We did not awaken. We did not connect with our double born-again self. We did not become aware or even feed our spirit or to become awoken. So primarily because the dark ones distracted us. So they knew the sun was going to flip in 2001. And so they know that the number 11 is very important. 11 is the 11th house of Aquarius. 11 is connected to the 5,600 years that we have just ended. We were in 5,600 years of winter. We have now shifted into 5,600 years of spring. This means prosperity. That makes 11. Oh, the character 11 is starting to come about. Isn't that so funny? Jesus Christ has 11 letters in his name. And when you begin to realize that 11/11 has been celebrated forever, it's called Topsy-Turvy Day, or the Carnival, that was celebrated predating medieval times. It reflects that the sun flips its magnetic polarity every 11 years. If you are aware that your biofield is connected to the biofield or the torus field of the sun, then you flip with the sun, unless your energy is so low that you don't flip. So here we go. So here came some jerks who took away your flame. So you are considered water. You're 75% water. The lower part of your biofield is called hell. It's called Helios, help, helium, healing. It's a place of healing. It's a place of awakening. And then you reach a precipice, and this part is red. So when you see Santa Claus with the red hat and the red, just remember there's a communication. The middle part of your biofield is green. It's connected to energy. The word green spells energy, except for the letter Y. And it is 5,000 times stronger than your brain. And it literally connects you to the energy of the sun instead of the moon. Your mind is connected to the moon. Your heart is connected to the sun. So once you get to Emerald City through that green heart chakra, which is the number 4, you enter Emerald City, where if you put it this way, it means that you have become a master of the number 13. So down here, you're tethered to 12. You're tethered to time. 12 hours, 12 months, 12 zodiac signs. Once you come up here, you become a master that walks on water. Jesus. Jesus left the temple at 12. He came back with 12 disciples. Jesus plus his 12 disciples equals 13. So this down here represents 12. This represents 13. So he was the master that walked on water through realizing how the sun flips. So sun flips is magnetic polarity every 11 years. So it flipped in 2001. We were too distracted. They erased both the bottom and the top. Maybe we died. I don't know. But something happened. So black magic is doing something in the physical as a direct battle against God. It wasn't in divine order to kill all those people. It was black magic. There are people who know about the letter MW. You just have to put them in a mirror. MW. They're the masters of the net. And they use these truths either for dark or light. They knew that the Two Towers was going to fall back in 1976. If you look at the Two Towers, a woman holding it on a platter. Look at the Supertramp album from 1976. It says super. The letter U was cut off. The letter P is here. If you put it in a mirror, it makes 9/11. Those are the Two Towers. If you go back to the 1950s or 40s, SS, Nazi, they had the Two Towers falling over. You can see it everywhere. There's something about this 11/11 thing. Well, anyway, so if the sun flipped in 2001, then it flipped again in 2012. This was the end of the Mayan calendar. What is 2012 plus 11? Oh, what? 2023 to 2024, the sun is going through a flipping, or it has flipped. And you guys are awakening. Not because God came down, but because the sun flipped. A pole shift. Ha ha ha. Pole shift. So, the year 2023 is the year of the white water rabbit. The year 2024 is the year of the fire dragon. When water meets fire, flesh meets spirit. Bam. Water, fire. Bam. We flip. Bam. We are in Emerald City. Bam. We are no longer under a prison god that puts us through pain and pressure in order to make us immortal. We have literally connected to our higher self harmoniously and favorably, and we are now set free. And oh, what? Then what happens? Well, suddenly, what Saturn used to be a jerk is no longer a jerk because we flipped. So we always thought of Saturn as Santa. Saturn is the golden age and the bringer of no work, no suffering, no war, no slavery, it's an age of harmony, peace, prosperity, joy, era without misery, without sounds of wars, no labor, an era without suffering, where everyone treated each other as they would like to be treated, the principle of the golden rule of the golden age. Saturn was known as the benevolent king of the golden age. And so the god Yam turns into that golden age. And so Saturnine means gloom, depression, and loneliness, but Saturnian means to the highest golden age, relating to the golden age. So your piece is literally talking about the sprigs of Saturn, a celebration of Saturn, the cross. And why is the cross very important? Because you're holding a box and you're the master architect and there's people in there. And it looks like you actually created a world sometime and maybe you chose to be there. And when the box opens up, it turns into a cross and you've been set free from a prison. So that's what's happening, and it's a sound. It's a frequency. It's a universal sound and a frequency. So what is that symbol that's in your piece? Doesn't this look like a Santa chair? Maybe it is Santa. That's Saturn. Look, you come from some place where you were immortal. The unicorn reflects immortality. You came here to bow down to Yam and Jesus. I don't know why. I'm guessing you had to figure out what hell was like in order to master heaven. Odin's story for the reason why he went down into the water was why he put one eye in the water. Aha, that looks like an eye. It was because he wanted to gain wisdom. So maybe that's your path. Maybe you needed to gain more wisdom. But that symbol is... I'm sorry, I'm just now figuring this stuff out. Spirit had to show me this stuff, and I literally was sent this book in the mail by some unknown person. And I think that it was meant to be because I had no idea what these symbols mean. That's that symbol. And it means waking conscious mediumship. And when we were down here, since this is backwards, and this goes this way and that goes that way, it means that when we were down here, we were in the belly of a whale or a dragon. Dagon, the fish god, we were in the phallus of Osiris. Ha ha ha. Maybe that's why all those church steeples are everywhere. I think, so this is the gate of the mystery. And this means that we were not awake. It looks like kind of reminds me of a helmet. And so this is about conscious mediumship and waking up. This looks like a Viking boat, and you're in a boat, and this is the box that needs to be opened up into the cross through serving God and beckoning the age of Aquarius and the golden age and the golden earth to return. Thank you so much for your gift. Thank you. The unicorn, you are immortal. You're learning to have thought forms of God. And Yam, Y-A-M, is right here. His name, Y-A-M. But he's beneficial. Basically, the allegory of Jesus on the cross isn't what we were told. The 7 wounds of Christ are all about your 7 chakras. It's not. What we were told is, so here's what you do. You relinquish taking on the sins of the world, the ideas of the world, the energies of the world, the telepathic thoughts of the world, the emotions of the world, and you keep your energy to yourself. You seek first the kingdom of God. You become a master of the water, the master of the net, and then Yam no longer pushes you. And then suddenly, if God is for you, who can be against you? Only because Dorothy took the broomstick that was on fire and splashed it with water. This is water and fire. And so this is the year of water and fire, guys. And then the soldiers and the monkeys were no longer against Dorothy, because if God is for you, who can be against you? We have to relinquish the false self before the true self can come off the cross. And coming off the cross means not having the mind of a human, actually being able to receive telepathic thoughts and visions from higher places without feeling like it's about you. Because if you're immortal, nothing's about you. You're nothing and yet everything, no one and yet everyone. And it's much funner that way, because then you're not worried about yourself so much. So you're in the same position I am. I have this exact position as you. You and I are very similar. Let me show you a piece that I did. Look how this looks like a face of a god. So you're in the body of a god. It looks like that. So let me show you me. I don't know if this is negative or good, to be honest. I did a reading on myself and I turned her into a cabinet. Let me move this. That Yam god is a bearded god. He's always seated on a throne like this, and I'm kneeling down with my crown to him, and he's pointing at contracts. And I left a world or a kingdom to come down here into the water to bow down to this Yam god. Did we make a mistake? Or are we here to wake up? I would say this means asleep. This means awake. This means obedience. This means a crown. This means immortality. And I think that this is an androgynous being with a beard and breasts. The androgynous ones were Adam and Eve, Mithra. And it doesn't mean that they were a human at all. It means that they are the sun and the moon, male and female, both. Very, very significant read. Very, very significant. I would encourage you to look up who is the master architect. It does take you to Freemasonry with the compass and the square. They are masters of the architect. At least they think they are. I don't know if they have been corrupt. But if you're not corrupt, you'll be able to do what your ancient grandmother did. Leave your body, and they didn't put a lot of importance on this physical world like we have now. They astral traveled and sky traveled way more than they did anything here. So they lived very simply. And they did what must be done in the physical, but they closed their eyes and they were able to sky travel to all types of different reality. We have no clue. We often make friends and lovers with beings we have no idea what their higher self looks like. Are they dominated by principalities and powers we're unaware? Of course they are. Are you mating with a reptilian? Maybe. So, okay. The ability to see the unseen is part of the program. We have to be able to see outside of the eyes of the physical so we can see principalities, powers, talk to plants, talk to animals. They talk to all kinds of beings. You got to read Daughters of Copper Woman. It's kind of weird. The book begins really strangely, but it gives you the vibe eventually in the book about how they lived in a reality that wasn't governed by the physical. It was governed by spirit. And they spirit traveled way more because it was way more free. And then they would come back to their body like Edgar Cayce, and they would do things in the physical. But they didn't spend the amount of time that we spend in our physical self. And they knew things. That book has been closed. But it's opening. Notice the number 4 here? That's very significant. That's very significant. And then it has the number 4, and then it has an X next to it. This gets us into sacred numerology. That may be something that woman is telling you. The number 4, I guess I'm going to have to tell you this. I know I'm very wordy today. I know. I am aware. I'm talking a lot. Okay. You have the number 4 with an X. All right. The Tree of Life, magical squares. The number 4. Let me show you this. When you get into sacred numerology and your ability to have thought forms of very powerful thoughts, you're not allowed to use these thought forms unless you have been invited, because you have to be at a certain awakening, you have to be at a certain place. So I'm going to tell you what this means, but you cannot misuse it and you cannot take it as less than sacred. Keep what is sacred but must be sacred. So for the first time in English, this is a book that has lifted the veil on a magical square whose properties astonished magi of an age long past. They hid this square from the uninitiated. And this is called the Great Elixir. They attributed its power to the rise of figures such as Alexander the Great. For hundreds of years, advanced adepts of Western occultism had no inkling of the existence of such a powerful magical artifact, but now you do. So the most important number in this book is the number 4. According to this ancient truth and this ancient knowledge of magical squares, which is connected to the box that you're holding. You may get into sacred numerology because the box that you're holding contains numerology that creates reality, which is connected to you as a master architect. According to this book, the number 4 is the number 10. So it goes like this. The number 1 is light. The number 2 is darkness and light, moon and sun. The number 3 is darkness, water, and light. And the number 4 is earth, water, air, and fire. They say this makes the number 10. So when you get to your 4th green heart chakra, they say it's 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 equals 10. That's a big 10-4, right? 10-4 are synonymous. The number 10 and 4 is a secret. They use the number 10 all the time. They say that you begin with the number 1 and then you double it to the number 10. And then 10 goes to 100, 100 goes to... And what it says is the numbers 10, 100, and 1,000, they partake of each other. And this partaking of each other is part of a universal truth. So this is a 100 by 100 magical square, and it has power. And this power does things. So something that I don't know much about yet, but I did learn that part. So you have the number 4 with an X. This is 4 and 10. So there's something about the letter H that isn't H. It's 4X or X4, which is 10-4. So 10-4. Let's look at that a little closer. What you have is a 4. And then this part makes an X. 2 crosses. Ah ha ha. And the letter H. The secret of this isn't an H. It's not 2 crosses. It's X4. Very interesting. And that is 10-4. That's a big 10-4. And you might like to know that 10 and 4 is 14. 14 is the number of the Holy Spirit. 14 is how many pieces of Osiris's body was cut. 7 for her, 7 for him. That makes 14. That's a big 10-4. So there's secrets to that 10-4 that your ancient grandmother is telling you. 10-4. Basically saying you have the ability to access all ancient minds because there is no death. You have the ability to access them and the information as a memorizer. Oh, that's who you are. You're a memorizer. Oh, aha. So you have this book and it has this, and then there's this dragon and you're a memorizer. So you memorize. Oh, yes. You're like Moses. You're like the memorizer. So you have a memory within you that needs to be accessed, and you can access it when you learn how to spirit walk, if you don't already. I mean, you should have some pretty strong experiences, being that your family slept with a wizard of sorts. But you should. The number 33 that makes a flower that looks like a cross is that you have 10 fingers and 10 toes, which is 20. And you have 13 joints, which is 13 plus 20 is 33. And then you have 33 vertebrae in your spine. And then Jesus died at 33. It's really a flower, 33. It's your eternal flower. It's a very significant symbol. Your family did what with a wizard? You're a child of a inky or a god of sorts. Whenever I see a wizard just means this. Here's a wizard hat. Here's the beard. It's somebody who separate water and fire. Water and fire. Here, I'm sorry. Fire and water. This is the Merkaba. It makes the number 144. There's the number 14 again. Somebody who is water and fire has a beard and a hat that looks like a wizard. It is somebody who is the master of water, realizing we are in a mirror illusion. They know how to travel through heaven, hell, heaven. The master that walks on water is a master of the net. When you see a wizard, it doesn't mean a wizard. It means the Wicked Witch of the West and the wizard. A wizard is somebody who is the master of water. You are 75% water. A master who has mastered the mind, the mirror, the magi, the Mary Magdalene, the magnetism. This is electromagnetism. The flesh, spirit. This is somebody who can access higher realms. This is somebody who has turned from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White and can do great, mighty, many things. It's a god. It's not a god like... When I talk about gods, I always tell you they are a place, not a person. It's the sun, moon, earth. It's a place, a reality. But these are like alien, Anunnaki. Anyway, they slept with this person. And isn't it so funny how you're Anakalia, like Anunnaki, but I'm not saying that it's Anunnaki. I'm saying that you have the name TT, and Anunnaki's daughter was named TT. I'm sorry, Inky's daughter was named TT. So you have TT there. So I'm not saying that he was a conventional wizard. Please. The reason I put 18 years or older on these videos is for people who have the ability to think outside of seeing things literally. It's not for children to be here. So the wizard is about water and fire, the master of your biofield, the master that walks on water and above and below. A person who has the ability to bounce out of their body and access ascended masters, kind of like Edgar Cayce or let's see, who else was it? Isaac Newton, who sat up against the apple tree. And the apple tree is your biofield. So it's all an allegory. But anyway, that's why you have something in your biofield. If you want to call it not your blood. I mean, how could you have something in your blood? Say it's in your biofield. Say it's in something that's connected very close to you still, that you have the ability to access. Yeah. Yeah. This is a bed. This is a communication. This is right here at the solar plexus. This means it was a solar god. Solar gods are usually, they start with the letter A. So there's the god Ra, but that's not his name. He's the god of the sun. His real name is Ar, from Armenia. His name is Our Father. And this is where the Ark was found on Mount Ararat, where Jesus spoke Aramaic, and they believe that Jesus lived in Armenia, which is near Iran or ancient Sumer. And the story of Jesus was stolen from Mithra. Mithra was the original Christ. So when you see MM, Mickey Mouse, or a marauder's map or a master magician or master mason, you know they're talking about Mithra and Mary, the androgynous male and female, self-impregnating like Mary energy that is a secret that people haven't asked. How am I losing connection? I don't know how I'm losing connection. Sorry about that. Well, anyway, this is very promising and really beautiful. Watch Doctor Strange Part 2. Get into numerology, sacred symbology. Begin to study this a little bit more in depth. There's secrets here, I'm sure. And realize that you have something within you that needs to be opened and accessed through your awakening. You're a master architect. And that has a lot of details that are inclusive in that. But it looks as if some string has tethered you somehow. And you'll let go when you're ready. Oh, hello, Yaya. So good to see you, my darling. How's my sweetie? I just was just thinking about you yesterday. I think about you all the time. Aw. So notice that Yam is facing west. You and Christ are facing this way, but he's on the cross. And this is facing east, and this is facing east. I believe we're all supposed to be... so this eastern direction may be something about you going to the east. And there may be a secret about you going to the east and seeing these symbols and look for them. Be kind of cool. Let me see if Stephanie is still here. If she is, we always like to kind of go live. And Yaya, you want to come and go live and talk about some stuff? About what's going on with these symbols? These ancient symbols are coming up in our art, and it's just like, what? And, oh, you think of me all the time. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. So I'm going to get Divine Awakening on. And then I'm going to send you an invite, Yaya. If you're in the mood. You're welcome. Go live. Talk about these ancient symbols.
Mood.
Hi, Yaya.
Hi, honey.
How you doing? I like your hair color. Did you turn it purple? What is that?
It's purple
I love it. Lavender.
for the Saint Germain, the Violet Flame.
Really? That's
Yeah,
amazing. I love it.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're so welcome. What have you been up to?
Oh, what have I been up to? Well, ever since I was so fortunate to see our galactic orbs in the sky about 2.5 weeks ago, I've had interesting feelings of frequencies and ears ringing at different pitches and um, more light language waking up. It's just interesting and learning how to ground myself a little better. Um,
Do you
and
feel like
just
we've
being,
been set free, almost like we've been
yes,
communicated with about a certain precipice where we have fully advanced into the
we,
ability to hear some very ancient knowledge?
yes, yes. I think um, if everyone really understood how loved and protected we really are, I would set their hearts at such a rest. You know, it Everything is divinely lining up like it should be. And we all, we've come back and forth to do this so many different times in this lifetime. And with you being able to pull these energies through and come up with these brilliant gifts and these clues and these symbols for ones to go to learn, to educate yourself more. Uh, I think it's absolutely beautiful that we're being communicated with. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi,
Hi.
Stephanie. Hi.
I was trying to switch over to my phone because my microphone on my iPad doesn't work, and by the time I got on there, it was gone. So I was like, "Oh well, I guess it expired."
Oh no.
It's okay.
This reading was, and I don't know
Amazing.
if you know this, but Yaya saw some orbs up in the sky, and they communicated with you.
They did. They did. They told me that we are always here. And what I also realized, it wasn't for me. It was for everyone. It was for those who are listening. And um, there's no ego with me. And my following is getting large. And so I took it as those who like to listen to me, that's what my message is to realize that they are with us and they want us to envision them like they are our neighbor. They want us to start envisioning how we think we would see them, because before too long here, they're going to be with us. They are our family. They are parts of our past coming back to us. And that's why we're having this grand awakening right now, is we needed all the dark things to happen in this world. Without the dark that happened, this beautiful light wouldn't exist.
I think you're right. The Wicked Witch had to push Dorothy to Emerald City, huh?
I think you're right.
We all need jerks somehow.
We all had to go, there's probably not one in this room that hasn't had some type or other really, traumatic experiences in their life. And with these traumatic experiences, it pushes us. It pushes us to want to be better, to want to do better, to want to be the change we want to see.
Absolutely.
One thing that I'm being asked to do is to meditate on certain particular symbols and shapes. Once you have recapitulated your past and you've collected enough power, then they are advancing some of us to literally activating telepathic thought forms and communications through these sacred visualizations.
Yes.
So, for those of us who aren't polarized by our own feelings and thoughts and worries and frets, we're taking time out of our day to what they say is opening gateways. And I don't necessarily understand the gates, but I'm doing it. What are you guys doing to encourage communication besides looking up at the sky? Yeah, yeah. Like what do you feel like you're receiving during the day? Is it through people that you receive your messages or dreaming or what?
Well, I had to come in because a train was going by. Well, not by, but in town.
Mm-hmm.
I I've learned and was told that part of these signals and sigils we get will be in the clouds, will come through the clouds. And when we see these, we're to write them down, we're to research them. And I was led to Hold on just seconds. Hold on, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. I was led to, um, when I first saw the orbs in the sky, I had these three different books, and they're from the Hopi tribe, and it's the Palladians, and it's a language, and through our hands, we actually there's ley lines on the land, but there's also ley lines in our hands, and we can activate our hands by pushing the outer sides together. I should have my camera on. Let me see. There we go. There we go.
There you go. Hi, yeah,
So,
yeah.
hello. So
Mhm.
by activating our hands, by smacking them together, the, 10 times, three different times, and then you can actually feel a vibration like a ball. And you can feel that in your hands, and you use that, and then you lay your hands on Mother Gaia with these symbols that you can inscribe into the earth, and you lay your hands over them, and you activate a prayer or whatever your heart tells you through your higher self. You do all this with your higher self, communicating with your higher self. And I so that's what I've been doing, and I'm also learning through these different books. They're called the 1111, the 2222, and the 3333, and all. It's the universal and spiritual law of creator. And what's really cool about it is that it has sigils in it,
Oh,
Hmm.
and they're very and I've actually already saw one of the sigils. I saw this one in the sky just this Monday. And so I once we realize that we have higher conscience, we have higher guidance through our beings of light, our um, our galactic family, a lot of our galactic friend family, um, they will come to us in our dreams. They will come to us in the sky, or you may see it in a. If you're pay attention to your higher self, it's like it can be overwhelming because they're with you all the time. Sometimes you have to kind of disconnect and you know, but if you pay attention, these signs and sit you come across them, and I come across them mainly in the clouds. I've been seeing them in the clouds, and and that's what I do with it. I take it and I write the signals, the sigils.
thank you, Opal Star.
Uh,
Sigils, yeah.
yeah, sigils. Hi, Opal. And I will bless the earth and put my hands on that, and it activates that area. And I also believe in the trees. I believe the trees are. I'm getting you off your topic. I'm sorry, Mary. The trees are they're masters. Are they are what's the word I'm looking for? There are wisdom keepers
Mm-hmm.
of many, many, many lifetimes.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do things with the trees, like all of us, we start realizing how one we are with all,
Mm-hmm.
from the sand to the dirt to the tree to our animals. Everything has a higher conscious of communicating.
Mm-hmm.
And just look at this all like in the last 2 months, um, through honoring Gaia and meditating by the trees and having a dream once in a while and having that piece of paper beside you when you wake up to write things down, because that's a human condition. As we get older, we might forget easier. But even what's so funny, even the change in your pocket is can be very important. I pulled out a quarter, and on that quarter showed an Indian holding his, like just this, holding his third eye. He was looking out over the scenery, and it was a plane. And I'm going, how interesting could this be on our everyday, our pocket change? We look at it and we can find things almost in our immediate existence. And
Well, what's interesting about what you're saying is Odin hung from a tree for 9 days. Jesus hung from a tree. He says, "You know a man by the fruit of his tree." And then Isaac Newton sat up against a tree to get truth. Dorothy Gale was slapped by an apple tree, and the apple is your biofield. So whenever someone talks about an apple tree or a tree or the fruit of their tree, they're literally talking about your tree of life, energetic body that has the seven chakras, or it's talking about your biofield, the
right,
apple. And I wish that we weren't so misled with that, but you're so right about that. And if you even think of the never ending story where his double in the mirror was Atreyu, it's like a tree is you. It's like
yeah,
we
isn't
are
that,
trees. Yeah.
isn't that interesting?
A few
Yeah.
people were asking what book you have, Mary.
This particular book that I just put up was a study course on alchemical symbolism because Yaya was talking about the number 11, 22, 44.
Right.
And I wanted to show Yaya what 11, 22, 33, 44 in alchemy is. When you're in the upside down world, it's considered 11. Then you go to the right side up world, it's called the royal road, it's the number 22. Then as the sun flips its magnetic polarity every 11 years, you go back upside down again. It's a time of strengthening and pushing and almost like Mercury retrograde. It's a jerk world. You're in a jerk time. And anyway, you're upside down again. That's 33, where Jesus died at 33. Then at last, 44, and that is the number 8, which is the eighth flame. And this is basically the ascension of mankind.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful. That's exactly where all these three books takes that to exact moment in time where we are.
Yeah. And I wanted to see, I wanted to read for Stephanie to, the last time I read for Stephanie, her dad showed up and she was just going through some family issues. And what I kind of want to look today, and if you guys could please send your love and support to Stephanie. She's been going through a really hard time, and she's going through a major change and shift in her life, and support would be like wonderful. She needs hugs, she needs love, she needs support. So we're going to do a reading for her. And yeah, if you have a download from the Palladians for her while I'm doing this drawing, go ahead and talk, because I'm just going to read for Stephanie and see if she has any activation codes in her biofield right now.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I
You're
love you,
welcome.
Stephanie.
I
My
love you
heart's with
too.
you, dear.
Thank you so much.
Forever young, forever young. So the very first thing that I see is somebody in a bed, and right here. on a pillow.
That looks like my mom.
Yep. And there's a bed. Here you are. You're illuminated. Ooh, isn't that nice?
Yay.
Beautiful.
You have a white face. Hey, maybe we have become like our rainbow light body. We haven't even realized it.
Right?
I think there's
There's,
something to it.
I think so. There's a man behind you. There's a little baby here.
Oh,
I don't know why.
does it have fur?
I'm not really sure. I don't know if it's a baby doll. I don't know what it is. It's a baby of sorts. Yeah.
Well, you can hear my baby crying right now, right?
Oh, yeah, right. Meow. Have you guys seen Stephanie's baby? So, so cute. So there's an invisible being putting a hand over your mom's head like that. And, and, and you do have an activation code here. That
Mm.
is that. And then there's your mother getting up out of bed.
Oh,
Here's her
wow.
face. She says, I got up. There's a female, a really, really, really pretty white female that is like, that's her. That's your mom. She is, mm, um, isn't it so funny that we believe this, we believe that? It looks like your mom says, I passed away. I got up. I'm white. You're turning white. One of her hands is like this over your head.
Mm.
It is putting some kind of whiteness over you. The dad or male energy behind you is
Maybe my dad.
possibly your dad. Definitely putting hands on something here. And like this, hands on hands on hands on heads.
Wow.
Um, says, he says, I saw the letter you wrote to me. Did you write your dad a letter? You said something to your dad. He's
Yep.
like looking down, almost like he was watching you write something
Yep.
at your computer. You were writing
Yep.
something.
I did.
You asked him if you um all those little letter M words, mom and Mandy and all these names, and you he says like he's giving you a surrender flag and like I don't know if this is saying I'm sorry or I don't know what, but he's like saying he's putting his hands out like this, like it was out of my control. I
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. There was something he couldn't do. It was out of his control.
Because he was drugged.
Yeah. He said I had nothing was in my control.
Yeah.
Um, and so there's this flag, and the flag is on fire, and I don't know what the flag necessarily means in its totality, but it's like his ear was pulled by a flag, which is an allegiance. Whenever you think of a flag, think of an allegiance. He had an allegiance to something that took his ear, took his energy, and he's sorry, basically.
Yeah. His best friend is the one that called that lady, and that's how she became involved. So I think his allegiance to his best friend, who basically misled him, is what he's saying, that he trusted that Doug was doing the right thing, and then it all blew up. For anyone who doesn't know, I lost both my parents within 5 months of each other, and it's been chaos. There's someone trying to take over my dad's house and all of his belongings, his bank accounts, and it's really stressful. So I lose my mom, then I lose my dad, but I wasn't told that my dad was dying. And I found out a month after he passed away because I live in California and he lives in New Mexico.
We
So
actually saw in our reading that he passed away because he showed up in your art.
that's
And
right.
I was like, "Do you have another dad, Stephanie? Because your dad is showing up in your art and as if he died." And you're like, "No, he didn't pass away." And then it was like a week later, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. Yes, he did." I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh."
You're incredible, Mary.
Yep.
So let me just tell you what's happening here. So you're giving your mother a, what do you call it? Um, a a peace lily. And this peace lily of forgiveness is actually created an illumination or light where your mother, let me just put you closer so you can see.
Okay.
Your mother is here. She got up off the bed. She says, the peace lily, you're going to have peace like a lily. She says,
Wow.
peace like a lily in the valley. She says, if you can forgive all of this in its totality, this illumination is going to anoint you right over your head. And there's good things happening for you. You do have an activation in your biofield here. The old the old um see here, why does she want to keep talking right here? There's somebody here right next to her. She want to keep saying about something. She says salute. She said, I just had an allegiance to the wrong thing, she says. So saluting to seven, the seven
Wow.
continents, seven seas. You know, the archons are the dominators of the realms of seven. So she says, I had an allegiance. And so anyway, here you are, you're putting your hand out and you're being given this illuminated light. And the dad, he has his foot here. He's leaning down, literally saying, I've looked at the doll you're looking at. He says, I see your dolls. I see your cats. I saw you writing a letter. I'm sorry. These weren't in, it was out of my control. You're a healer. Thank you. You're a wonderful healer. Your cats played a role. They are part of that illumination. You basically helped them see how he has a flag and see how her bed looks like a flag.
Yeah.
You help them to not have allegiance to the wrong thing. They are becoming illuminated through you. They're watching you.
I was gonna say,
Ah, he
yeah,
says joy.
the mama, yeah, mama is being your guiding light.
They're actually, and then here is somebody who is like has praying hands and they look like a nun. And it's literally the darkness was what pushed us into the light. And so this is exactly what you said, Yaya. The Wicked Witch serves its purpose, and the darkness pushed us into the light. Darkness turned to the light. It's good. It's joy is your strength. We have to let go of things that we couldn't understand, that we didn't understand. We were so bound to limited views and understandings, and this is a promise. You have been activated, but your activation only works through the energy of forgiveness and joy. Otherwise, it looks as if they've watched you this entire time.
That wouldn't surprise me. I feel like they're here. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't felt even though I feel alone because I've retreated a lot from the world, like from the outside world. It's it's so intense right now in public, like going to grocery stores and such. I'm so sensitive to other people's energy that it's just with everything I've been going through for the last year, it's it's so intense and I don't have the ability to take on all the other additional energies when I'm out and about. So don't, I try not to expose myself to that. And I'm not that type of person. I'm inclined to be a loner and a hermit when things are tough, but I also love people so much that I thrive when I'm connected to
Mhm.
people where I can actually, show my love through different actions to be of service. And so I haven't really got to be who I am in this world this whole year. It's just been sorrow and sadness and grief and the uphill battle of dealing with the law, the attorneys and everything. And
Mm. It can be heavy.
it has been really heavy, but now I feel like a page is turned and that a new beginning, 2024 is just going to be a magical year, not just for me, but for so many of us.
Even before then, for you, Stephanie,
Okay.
even before then, today started a new this whole new art here for you. Even tomorrow, you're gonna wake up and have a breath of a new life. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. May I read something to you
Yes,
that
yes.
I the triangle with the joy in it? It led me to this, and it's
There's
uh,
two triangles.
yeah, it's called Earth's Medicine, Ancestors' Way of Harmony for Many Moons. And it says, picture our tomorrow. Paint a picture of tomorrow with gentleness in your mind, tinting it all with feelings, every emotion of humankind,
Wow.
and be willing to feel every heart and the desire it contains, including every nuance, the joy as well as the pain. Don't forget to use all colors, the pastels, the tints, the hue that represent the wholeness, the great mystery can unbue.
Wow.
Then sculpt the shape of destiny, the patterns great and small, weaving dark and light into unity, yet unfolding within the all. But what is the difference in this world yet yesterday? In the final ingredient that changes our former way, reclaim will and allowing makes this tomorrow stand apart, unbound freedom of expression, illumination, the victory of the heart.
That's so beautiful.
That
Thank you, Yaya.
Thank you.
I love you, Stephanie.
I love you too.
I truly in my heart believe that this is your this is your new awakening moment.
Yeah, I've just had another what they call dark night of the soul. It's just lasted an entire year. But I do feel things. I've been feeling the energetic shift since last week, so I'm very encouraged and I it's interesting how much you can forget what the real you feels like because it hasn't been expressed. And it's nice to be reminded of the person I was before all of these things happened. And I do believe that things happen for us, not to us. But my goodness, I've not had an easy life, but I've always been able to stay in my mind and my Pollyanna mind or my rose-colored glasses mind and see the good in everything. But this time it was just like it kept happening. One thing was enough. One thing already was devastating enough, and then another thing, and then another thing, and I was like, uh, time out, please. I haven't recovered from the first three. Can you please stop? And it just kept coming.
Yeah.
So it just kind of beat me down.
I only think this time now, you seeing that and you realizing that um, you were gifted at one time. You were very gifted. I think you now are going to be so illuminated with what you're going to be able to pull even forward is going to be absolutely a way shower. You will be absolutely
I can't
divinely.
believe you just used that word. That
Right?
is exactly the video I was supposed to send Stephanie. It's called the Way Seer or the Way Shower.
Met divine timing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes the word is used too much, but you know what? When
Synchronicity.
it's used right, you can't go wrong.
So
Well, that was
Stephanie, you
just a
see the
divine
word?
message reminder for you, Mary.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna send it to you right after this. Papa says dinner in 5 minutes, so I gotta hurry up.
Okay.
See, it says OA.
Yes.
OA is the order of the OA is a magical and mystical system of initiatory grades or degrees that assists a person to understand and realize their own unique magical and spiritual path. It is the OA is not a religion. It is the aim or gnosis of illumination. It is not a belief. It is a general aim, which is to discover their true will, which is the direct expression of the true nature of the self. And your mother, the bottom of your mother has OA.
Oh, so
That's
I'm
who, that's
glad to
where you
lose
are.
her. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Get
Yep.
any better.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Things are going to look better. And you guys, guess what? Stephanie and I are going to do it together. When we open up our little retreat, we can't wait to hug you and see you and play Ring Around the Rosie.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to mention when you first let me join. Right now, anyone that's on the live, if you want to go to purchase anything from Forest Fairy, for the next week, we have a special where you can get 10% off if you use the code Hogwarts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And believe me, if you do order something online, I always give you lots of free stuff.
Extras. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You're gonna get
extras.
more than,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's Christmas, I'm just gonna send you a bunch of stuff.
All
So,
right.
we just want to let you guys know, thank you for the gifts. I mean,
Thank you
especially
so much.
Stephanie, she
Yes,
needs
thank
it
you.
right now, and we're trying to make a place where we can all. We want you to come to the springs. We have springs here that are emerald in color. This is the Emerald Coast, and we want to have an emerald retreat. We want to activate your biofield. We want to be able to do some great things and really step into, like you said, Yaya, to envision the world and actually see it, right? Like you're seeing it in the clouds, like you're looking for it. And that's what we should be doing is looking for those answers, looking for that connection and bringing um, miracles. I'm ready to see a miracle, aren't you?
Yes,
More
please.
miracles.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
please.
What is
Yeah.
so beautiful is they, our beings of light, our galactic family, even our spiritual ones, they just halfway, they were willing to give us everything, but our actions are a prayer. And Mary says it all the time. You put in the work, you have a good heart, and you do your best, and every day you having honor with what you do, from making your meals and petting your dogs, waking up and being grateful that you have a floor under your feet.
Yes,
This is all very important to our spiritual, our higher minds, our galactic. They are amazed by how beautiful we are and how far we've come. And
absolutely.
everyone needs to know that.
So thankful for you both today. I love you guys so
I
much.
love you too. That is so gorgeous, Mary. That is absolutely stunning.
Ah ha ha.
Ha, ha, ha.
Beautiful. Is that in the shop or is that yours personally?
Yeah, well, I didn't make her. I got this part and then I put an angel on top of it, so it made a skirt so that inside is a crystal that lights up inside her.
I
I,
love your
I think
brain.
we need to get more of those and put those on the
Right?
website.
Oh,
Yeah,
you guys want
they're
these on the
gorgeous.
website?
Yes.
Ah, okay, I will. I'll
Hmm.
put them on there.
So we're going to have a Hogwarts 2.0 eventually, sometime in 2024. We'll have a retreat, and
Mm-hmm.
then depending on the turnout, um, we're going to the second retreat. So we'll have a first retreat that works out all the kinks and bugs so that it's more seamless. The second one, we will unveil our Hogwarts 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And this isn't about money. This is about doing what your heart says
Yeah, we want to
and
be of
coming
service.
as you are
Yes.
and doing what spirit wants us to do and connecting and becoming more what's the word? Yeah, what am I trying to say?
Becoming you more authentic. You know
Mm-hmm.
what you are. Become your pure, authentic self, a
Thank
Yes.
you.
spiritual being of light.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Know it and believe it.
Mm-hmm. Babies. I love you guys so much.
Love
And
you
I'm sure
too.
I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, Yaya. Thank you,
Yes.
Stephanie. And
Thank
thank
you,
you for
Yaya.
everyone listening today
Thank you, everyone,
for
for your
being
gifts.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you
I
for
love
being here. We
everyone.
got you to 30K likes, Mary. That's amazing.
Wow, you guys
You
are
rock,
amazing.
baby.
My hair's sticking straight up in there. You just can't see
Goodness.
it.
Oh, and it was an honor for you to have me up with you, Mary. I'm
Oh,
very,
come on here
We
all the
very
love
time. What
you.
I'm wanting to do is every time I finish someone's live, I want to give a free reading. And then while I'm giving someone a free reading, we're going to sit and chat. We'll talk about the reading. We'll talk about downloads from the Palladians. We'll talk about what Stephanie's, how she's, doing different things. We'll just talk. And if you guys want to come on and talk, let's talk. Let's make it into something more interactive.
that's how we
Yes.
learn. That's how we do it together. That is the
Mhm.
only way, together.
Thank you
Yes.
guys so much for the gifts. Thank you for Stephanie.
Yes.
All
Thank you
right,
so
guys.
much.
Well, we'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Love you. Go and
Love you
kiss a
too.
tree, right?
Kiss
Yes.
it.
Enjoy your
Go kiss
dinner.
a tree. One,
I
two,
love
three, kiss a tree.
Yay.
you.
Bye, babies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Stephanie.
Bye, Loretta.
Love you,
We
gal.
love you too.